Now, everybody in the room has read lots of books on spirituality, no doubt, you see. And, relax for a second. We read all the spiritual material, or we go to church, we listen to a great lecture, we feel terrific. And the very next day, we curse the first guy that cuts in front of us in traffic. We say to ourselves, didn't I get it, or what? So to hear about it is one thing, for it to sink in is another. Okay? I think everybody in this room, you don't really have a spiritual problem. The only problem you got is allowing it to sink in. What keeps it from sinking in? Many people in this room, I'm sure, have spent years reading spiritual literature, hearing erudite speakers, going to holy places. I've been to all the holy places, folks. Yeah. And yet, a thing will remain the same. You say, how can that be? How can that be? How come it doesn't sink in? How come I don't get it? How come I'm not transformed by the wonderful truths I've heard? I don't know. I thought we would save this for research today. There seems to be a great block, isn't there? We're willing to be loving towards all people. We noticed that in Walmart that happens. Everybody was friendly. If I came down the aisle, yesterday I was coming down the aisle, I had a bunch of blank videotape things, and I'm going down, and this lady looks sweetly at me and she says, oh, pardon me, she pulled out of the way. How come everybody's so sweet and loving in Walmart? And on the street she'd say, like this, and pull in front of you. So it must be certain context allows the truth to sink through. I don't know what it is, why it doesn't sink in, okay? Why it doesn't sink in has to do with an unconscious resistance that the ego resists. It's an unconscious defense mechanism of the ego resist. It's the ego defending its very structure, resist. The ego is defending its very structure. In other words, to allow even one truth to shoot through is the beginning of the end for the ego. That's correct. So the ego defends itself by not allowing any immigrants. You get one sweet, loving little old lady wanders through, you're blowing the whole game, you know what I mean? Iris, you're not supposed to be treating the people this way. Oh, I see, okay. Consequently, love is the greatest danger, resist. Ah, yes. So the way, oh, I got it, okay. What I just saw is true, okay. All right, that's what we're building up to the lectures anyway. What we said was, what we're approaching it from the side of the ego, because when we get to lecture, whatever it is, about the heart, I don't want the heart impeded by the structures of the ego. So first we're disassembling the ego. You see, the ego becomes weaker just by recognizing it for what it is. It already loses its divine authority. We're removing the divinity of the ego. The more we describe the machinations of the ego, the quicker it is to see it. The weaker it becomes. Because when we get to the lecture on the heart, if I'm capable of giving it, the heart now sweeps through unimpeded because the ego's resistances have been weakened.